You want to get the best possible results from your exercise. You want to look great, feel great, perform at your best. And if you're not seeing the results that you want to see, chances are there's one factor, one variable that is definitely holding you back. In this episode of the podcast, I'll reveal what that is. Tune in and take notes.
Welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast, where we hear and learn from our coaches, CrossFitters, and Glen Ed community leaders. Now, here are your hosts, Dallas and Greg.
What's up, guys? I'm Coach G, one of the coaching team here at CrossFit Edwardsville, and I've had a chance over the last 15 years to work with thousands of people who have different walks of life, who have different life circumstances, people with kids, no kids, crazy, demanding full-time jobs, or college students with effectively no job. I've worked with men and women, people that are trying to get to the CrossFit Open, trying to get to the CrossFit Regionals, CrossFit Games, people that just want to look good in their swimsuit this summer. And I've noticed there are definitely themes. There are consistent trends that I see between people that get the absolute best results, people that make progress at the speed that they want to, and people who don't. And in this episode of the podcast, I'm going to reveal what I think is one of the major variables that could be impacting your progress in terms of getting where you want to go as fast as you want to get there, whether it's getting better at pull-ups, getting better at handstands, getting to a double body weight or triple body weight deadlift, seeing massive change in your body. The thing that I think makes such a massive difference for so many people, or rather the variable that I think might be missing for you, is consistency with your healthy eating or consistency with your exercise protocol. And just for the sake of clarity in this episode of the podcast, I'll define consistency with healthy eating, that you're on plan for at least 6 days out of the week, maybe having one cheat meal on one day, but the other 6 days you're 100% on plan with your healthy eating plan. Or from an exercise standpoint, that you exercise at least 4 days a week, meaning you have more days that you get exposure to an exercise stimulus than days you don't have that. So just for the simplicity of this conversation, those are the definitions of consistency in this context. And this is so massively important because if you're not getting at least those 4 days of exercise, as I mentioned a moment ago, one thing to consider is there are more days you're not exercising than days that you are, which might be the very definition of inconsistent exposure to that stimulus for positive change. Or if you're not eating on plan 6 days a week, it is very possible to eat in a super healthy way all weekdays, have the calorie deficit, for example, you want to have Monday through Friday, and on Saturday and Sunday, with the right amount of drinking or barbecue bullshit that you eat at the pool party, completely destroy all the progress that you'd made on those days because you didn't have enough of the consistency that you needed to. I think all of us know and intuitively appreciate that exercise and healthy eating are one of these things that require us to be consistently committed to taking action and actually taking action over time in order for us to see the benefits. You can think of it like if you're growing something in your garden and some weeks you water it and some weeks you don't. It's possible that those weeks where you're not exercising, the weeks where you just kind of let things go and fall off the wagon, that those weeks are the reason why your garden doesn't grow, proverbially speaking, why you don't see a change in your muscle definition, why you don't see a change in your energy levels, or why your push press max has been stuck at the same thing for a year or 2 years. having more of that consistent exposure to the stimulus, whether it's eating healthy at least that 6 days a week, doing CrossFit at least that 4 days a week, these might be the things that are missing for you. The good news is that this is an entirely fixable problem. And I want to go ahead and take away your excuses that there are vanishingly few people out there, and maybe none at all, that are so busy and so committed, so overbooked with things due on their schedule that they cannot exercise 4 days a week. In fact, I'd go so far to say is, if you were to tell me that you can't exercise 4 days a week for fill in the blank reason, chances are your priorities are just screwed. Your priorities are wrong. All of us like to say that our health is a top priority, but if you work 75 hours a week and you exercise for 1 hour a week, your priorities are jacked, and that's the real problem here. You need to raise your standards for yourself in terms of your health and your exercise. Wherever your money goes and wherever your time goes, demonstrate your true priorities, your real priorities. It's been said before, this is not a Coach G, Dr. G saying, that we can tell where your heart really is, where your values really are, by examining your calendar and your pocketbook. And if your calendar and your pocketbook don't have a meaningful reflection of health and fitness activity every single week, week to week, month to month, year to year, don't lie to yourself. Your health and your fitness are not a high priority to you. Everything else is a high priority to you. Going out and drinking on the weekends is a high priority to you. Or hanging out with friends to play cards is a real priority to you. Or having time to binge watch your favorite television show, that's on your schedule, or that's where you actually allocate your time. That's where your money actually goes, all of these streaming services for entertainment at your home and not to gym dues. Your priorities are the real problem, not your busy schedule, not the fact that your child has soccer practice. In order for you to say yes to your greatness and say yes to things that really matter, it's very possible you have to say no to some of the things that are good, that hold you back from being great. Maybe you shouldn't be the coach of your kid's soccer team. Maybe you shouldn't be on the PTA at the school. Maybe you shouldn't be committed to all these extracurriculars that give you marginal return, marginal value, especially if those are the things that are on the calendar keeping you from getting to the gym, going for a run, doing your meal prep so you can actually see a meaningful change in your health and your fitness. Do whatever it takes to have that consistency in your healthy eating and your exercise regimen, whether it means saying no to some good things so you can say yes to great things, or maybe it's just a matter of raising your standards for yourself and saying, I choose to live my life as a healthy, active person, and my minimum acceptable standard is I exercise every day, 6 days a week, and I eat on plan consistently 6 days a week. That for me is the minimum standard. That is my standard for myself. Anything less is completely unacceptable. It is out of my character. It does not fit with my vision of myself to do anything less than this minimum amount, because I know that minimum amount gives me the consistency that I need so that I can actually live my best life, be the best spouse, be the best parent, set a real example for my kids, have the energy, the life, the vibrancy that it takes to be able to live a high quality life for a long time and see all the best of life. And I hope that you do that. If you need a little bit of help, feel free to reach out to us over at CFE. You can find us on all the socials. You can visit us at CrossFitEdwardsville.com. When you're ready, you can book a no sweat conversation with one of our coaching team, and we'll talk to you about what your unique fitness and health journey looks like. But for now, I thank you for the gift of your time and your attention, and we'll see you guys in the next episode of the podcast.